Ja, molbe.
땡에서 뭐 매장배랑 장가에 순성고와 샤라 솔바인데 엄마 엄마들이 되들수가 엄마 니노 마음 남물바에 돌다리만 다리 돌리면 매돌 멀리안자로 자수이듬 자졌다 장난담자잔데 솔 나루 내바다 비수이 된단디 도이듬 자졌다 엄마 알슨 나저라 나스탄 저라는 무슨 임자는 dom자 무슨 엄마 엄마 비가 다시 때지가 될때 놓고 행사 놓았었어 하면 딴날 원동 엄다리 뒤다시 좋아 나 엄마 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 아이 제일 맞처럼 양가 저거 그래
We are ill, our children are often ill, and we wanted Shaman Shurun Kama to bless us and ease our pains and exorcise the evil spirit. We wanted him to cleanse us of our sins with incense. We were just moving on with our herds. We raise our own cattle. Yes, I definitely wanted to find out which direction to go, or whether we should go on at all. Hama told us we could go off in any direction we please, and we would be blessed everywhere. Do you believe your visit today and the shaman's blessings will help you as you continue on? Yes, he's a very good man. We came here to be blessed and cleansed, and we met you here. I think we'll just have as much good fortune on our way as you will with your film.
Матери мира, сестры мои родные, с болью в сердце
Mothers of this
обращаюсь к
earth,
вам
my beloved
с
sisters,
радостной вестью.
with woe in my heart I turn to you, but at the same time I bring you glad tidings. The earth groans beneath the evil deeds wrought by the hand of man. Children are perishing from the foolishness of elders with only barrenness in their souls.
На пороге своей гибели.
The earth stands on the brink of destruction, but a Redeemer has appeared on earth to bring us truth, light, and love. He has come as he promised 2,000 years ago, softly and secretly, like a thief in the night. And endless throngs are flocking to his side, and the news of the Redeemer's appearance has spread like wildfire throughout all the land, from Magadan to Riga, from Arkhangelsk to Tiflis.
От Магадана до Риги, от Архангельска до Тбилиси. Так услышьте и вы эту радостную весть.
Hearken then unto the glad tidings. The Redeemer has come and lights our path to salvation. Your children's eyes look up at you full of hope and faith. And so, do not pass by the source of love, light, and truth. Believe me, the mother of four, and follow him, and you shall save your children and Mother Earth, which suffer so greatly from our folly.
От нашего неразумения.
Дорогие мои, чада Божии, земля является единой матерью вашей.
Dearly beloved children of God,
Глупыми и
the
смешными
earth is your only
выглядят
mother.
сыновья одной
How
матери,
foolish and ridiculous seem the sons of the one mother who inhabit all her space and yet sever their contacts, the ones unto the others, only because some were brought to earth at one place and others at another place.
постигает разум человека.
Verily I say unto you, a great folly hath befallen the mind of man. Take heed. The struggle of one nation to exalt itself above another nation is a sign of a disturbed mind. And heed the Father's word, which saith that everyone who exalts himself over others shall be made low. Deep sorrow furrows the brow of the Heavenly Father as he looks down upon the obstinacy of his children, especially the obstinacy of the faithful. How many wise words have been written about the faith, yet to this day nobody in his stubborn head can understand that these magnificent writings ultimately lead to these two lines: love God and love thy neighbor. But where is this love?
А где та любовь? Ныне наступило время,
Now the time hath come, when the word of the glorious Father is turned once more to your ears, but it is up to you to hearken to his word. May the prophecy of Isaiah not be visited once more upon you, a prophecy which firmly stated, and to this day doth continue to state, they will hear with their ears, but understand not. They will see with their eyes, but perceive not. For the hearts of these people have grown dull, and they scarcely hear with their ears, and they have closed up their eyes. Be wise then, for mankind is headed straight towards the abyss. But the people have now arrived at the place where one single path brancheth off from this ominous road and leadeth to true perfection.
о себе мне мало говорить.
There isn't much I can say about myself. I'll just say, I am the word of the Father, and I and the Father are one.
О большем
Everything else shall for a time be a subject of strife amongst you, for the freedom of choice vouchsafed unto you from our Heavenly Father is in fact your freedom. It must under no circumstances be violated. Listen thus to your hearts and make the choice. Go forth on your quest.
Слушайте свое сердце и выбирайте. Ищите.
Так, мам, попросим выйти на этот момент погружения.
Will the mother now please leave the sanctuary while the child is being dipped into the font? Please remain outside until we ask you to come back.
При погружении. Закрой дверь. Господи Иисусе Христе, Сыне Божий, помилуй нас. Так, включайте. Благословен Бог, просвещая и освящая всякого человека, грядущего в мир. Крещается раб Божий, младенец Павел. Во имя Отца. Аминь. Ага. И Сына. Аминь. И Святого Духа, ныне и присно, и во веки веков. Аминь. Стой. Опа. Подожди, отойди. Так. Вставай сюда. Промыкай его. Промыкай.
Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй.
Вот это грех, наверное, ведь тут это камеру тут над водой.
Я банку доставала.
Ну да куда же? Скажите, пожалуйста. Ну вот сейчас вот туда еще. Только аккуратненько. Не стойте, так сказать, две очереди, вот подходите, пожалуйста. Так, разрешите?
Кто хочет работать, говорите мне. Работайте, работайте сами. Только осторожно. Какой не знаю, как.
Там вода есть.
Now try to concentrate on the palms of your hands, as if you were straining to listen, the same way you listen intently to a telephone receiver when you have a bad connection. At first you don't hear anything, and then, all of a sudden, you're all ears. But first I shall explain how to transmit positive cosmic energy with this photo. You can charge water and ointments, anything you consider necessary. You will never again lack for charged water or charged ointment. Remember the beastly anguish of loneliness. Remember and shed soothing, refreshing tears. Remember death and illness and misfortune. I, sorcerer of Russia, command you, open your hearts like the gates of hell.
Чуть хуже обычного. Старайтесь доброе дело расслабиться все. Не двигайтесь,
руки мои!
Не отбывайся от моих глаз! Назад! Дикий крик! Назад!
Видите, у меня уже даже вот эта вот рука, это уже... Да.
Целый месяц вас не видели.
Целый месяц, кажется, так...
We haven't seen one another for a whole month. It seems like eternity. Do you know I see you very often in my dreams, especially the last few days?
В общем, пришла дочь наша, первая. Она пришла и такая, она ходила на секцию.
Our eldest daughter came home and said, Mama, here at Minosinsk, there is a Jesus. And when I heard his first sermon, I experienced such ecstasy. I felt like my soul had taken wing. It was a sensation of unbelievable warmth and contentment. It is not written that the heavens will open and Christ will appear, but rather it is written, He will come softly and secretly, very, very softly. He will also come unto the ones who desire it most fervently. And that was how He came to us.
Писание для этого и говорилось, что
The Holy Scripture says, Be ye attentive unto the voice of your hearts, for many false prophets will come, wolves in sheep's clothing. If you dress a wolf in sheep's clothing, no good will ever come of it. It will always exude a wolfish stench. We will always smell it, but this we will only be able to perceive in our hearts.
Мне приснился сон, что вижу во сне вроде
I dreamt I could see a cloud floating down from the sky and landing inside my home. He stands upon the cloud, and I ask him, Art thou come? He smiles and says, All will be well. Expect my coming, not quite yet, but in a little while.
Я раньше показывал кино. Вот, а сейчас звоню в колокола.
I used to be a movie projectionist. Now I ring the bells.
Я
I grew up in an orphanage. When I was 2, they put me in a children's home because someone had found me on the
С
street.
2 лет привели меня в дошкольный детский дом.
Now I'm glad I can make people happy with my art.
Вот.
The
Сейчас я
people need the sound of the
рад, что
bells.
приношу своим искусством радость людям. Колокольный звон очень нужен людям. Меня зовут Юрий Юрьевич Юрьев.
My name is Yuri Yurievich Yuriev.
И
The
как
first
сказали
people
мне
who looked after me at the
мои первые
orphanage
воспитатели,
told me I had
сам
given
себе так
myself
назвал.
that name. When they asked my name, my first name, my middle name, and my family name, I always answered
Когда меня
Yuri,
привели
and so
маленького,
they called me the three
стали
U's.
расспрашивать, как тебя зовут. На вопрос фамилия, имя, отчество я им все 3 раза назвал Юра. Так они мне назвали 3 Ю. И сейчас, конечно, с тех пор и
From
по
that day
нынешнее
to this, I
время
still wonder
задумываюсь,
who I am
где
and
же мои
whatever happened
родители.
to my parents.
Вот.
I never
Я их
knew them, and I would give
уже
anything
не
in the
видел,
world to
казалось бы,
meet
все
them.
сейчас отдал, чтобы увидеть их. Вот. Это был
I
44
was
год.
born in
было
1944 when the war was still on. The war, or more probably the Stalin repressions, were the reason why I lost my parents.
Но,
Ever since I keep looking for them, but all in vain.
конечно, пока безуспешно.
The only entries in my passport are the year and place of my birth, the town of Murom, but there is no record there of anyone who might be my parents.
И все, родители не обозначены.
Монастырь был воздвижения
There were once 3 monasteries, the Elevation of the Cross, the Assumption of Mary, and the Transubstantiation of the Lord. When the Tatars came back, all they found were 3 hills in the lake. Divers went down to find the bottom of the lake, but they couldn't. They put pike in the lake, but the fish got so frightened, because there was no bottom, they fled into the next river. There seemed to be just water under the surface of the earth.
Благословлю Господа на всякое время, выну хвала Его во устях моих. О Господи, похвалится душа моя, да услышат кротцы и возвеселятся. Возвеличите Господа со мною, и вознесем имя Его вкупе. Взыскай Господа и услыша мя, и от всех скорбей моих избави мя.
Чтобы понять душу русского
You can gain insight into the Russian soul from the example of the city of Kitesh. Here is Lake Svetloyar. The great city of Kitesh once stood on this site. When the soldiers of the Mongol Khan Bati approached the city, the residents implored God to redeem and protect their town. God answered their prayer. He sent down an archangel who plunged the city into a fathomless lake, where it survives to this day in bliss. Now people come looking for it. They believe the city really existed. They make pilgrimages there, pray, ask for some blessing and crawl around the lake. I believe people will keep making pilgrimages to the banks of this lake forevermore. That's a part of the Russian character, the Russian soul. The Russian soul is forever striving to behold the sunken city of Kitesh.
Граду Китежу.
They call this hill the 7th hill of Jerusalem. When the pilgrims stood here, they had come to spend the night. The mountain suddenly opened at 12 midnight, and they saw a cathedral. It was crowded with little children, all of them carrying candles in their hands. There was a choir singing somewhere. The psalm reader kept his wits about him and asked what kind of a cathedral this was. It was consecrated to the 14,000 little children who were murdered in Jerusalem. That's what it is. After a while, the mountain closed up again.
И немножко погодя стала гора скрываться. Вот видела один раз у матушки.
I once saw the following thing at the home of the priest's wife. There was a huge table in the hall with a monstrous ox lying underneath. A fire flamed out of his nostrils, and he farted flames. His tongue was flaming red. I pounded on the front door. The priest's wife came out and immediately said a prayer. Hardly had she finished her prayer when this demon suddenly disappeared through a cat hole. I told her everything would be all right now. But she answered, "Well, Sonia, now we are going to be destroyed. We can't live here anymore. A demon has crept in among us." We were even afraid to light the stove because we thought the whole roof would collapse. That was a miracle. I saw that evil spirit. That was some miracle.
Вот какое чудо.
За всех моливших Сына Своего и Бога нашего, да спасет тобой души наши, уповаемся на Твою благодать. Святая Богородица, спаси меня. Заступница, усердно к вам прибегаем, нерушимой стены и заступления. О, Мати Господа Вышнего, за всех моливших Сына Своего и Бога нашего, да спасет тобой души наши. Заступница, усердно к Тебе прибегаем, Царица небеси и земли, скорбящая Божья Матерь, помилуй и скорби мои.
This is the stump of a pine tree a man once chopped down. The minute he cut down the tree, he went blind right then and there. Hardly had they brought him home when he took violently ill and suffocated straight away. Nobody is allowed to chop trees down on this sacred hill or harm them in any way. We come here, pray, and God heals us. Now we know that this stump is very precious and can perform miraculous cures.
к нам исцеление. Господи, исцели нас.
O Lord, heal us. Little Father, glorious stump, standing here for so long, heal our arms and legs.
Ну, теперь я по
Now I'll
ступу
crawl
пройду.
around some more, okay?
Да? Ну, пошла. Поползла. Из-за места доползу. Глядишь, хоть разок долго поползу. А больше-то я не припаду. Господи, Боже. Помилуй нас, грешных, недостойных, рабских. Владыки, за престольно, Боже, Матерь. Простите, Боже, помощь.
святейшее Слово, нынешнее приемши приношение, от всякие избави напасти все, и будущее из минуки, о Тебе вопиющий, Аллилуйя.
Господи Иисусе Христе, Сыне Божий, помилуй меня грешную. Господи Иисусе Христе, Сыне Божий, помилуй меня грешную. Господи Иисусе Христе, Сыне Божий, помилуй меня грешную. Что такое? А у меня свинья вышла, значит, как бешеная.
What happened to my hand? Well, my pig escaped from the pigsty. It went completely berserk, started foaming at the mouth and attacked the cow. I got frightened because the pig was trying to bite through the cow's throat. I grabbed a stick and yelled at the pig, "Away, away with you! What's gotten into you?" Suddenly the pig turned on me. I held the stick in one hand and it bit me in the other. I stumble backwards into the house, fall on my back on the floor, and the door slams shut. Just then, the pig starts hurling itself at the doorpost, wildly gnawing on it to get into the house. I was bleeding badly. I managed to chase the pig back into the sty, and then I ran to the hospital where I got an injection.
Я сразу побежала, вскочила, ее привязала, загнала ее, уж она убежала сама в хлев. И я сразу, значит, побежала в больницу, укол мне сделали.
Maria Pavlovna, have you ever encountered supernatural beings here?
Я ходила раз к озеру.
Yes, I have.
Значит, меня страх взял.
I once took a walk around the lake,
Мне хочется, но я боюсь.
but I was afraid of the dark and I didn't want to crawl around it anymore.
Запели.
Then suddenly I heard singing.
Запели.
A great joy welled up within me,
Радовалась, я думаю, Господи,
and I thought to myself, could it be that I'm not alone?
Я пошла,
I started moving around the lake again and immediately saw 11 spirits with candles in their hands.
идут, и
I
все
crossed
бачат,
myself and
как
followed
свечи
them.
у них.
Now and then they stopped to pray. When they finished praying, I stopped on the same spot to say a prayer of my own and then ran to catch up with them. I kept close behind them and listened to their chanting. When we got to the hills over there, I began wondering again how I was going to get home. I thought, look at their faces, perhaps one of the spirits is from Vladimirskoye. When I got closer to them, they suddenly dissolved. There were no more candles and no more apparitions, just the smell of smoldering candle wicks.
И свечки погасли, и люди пропали. И у меня остался только запах в носу от свечек. И я слышу что-то, звон.
Suddenly I heard ringing and a quivering bong, as if I were up in a belfry. That puzzled me, because there wasn't a single bell anywhere around. From how deep was that sound coming?
Колокола везде убраны, а звон. Почему это? Да. И так мы продолжаем.
The sound got louder and louder. My legs started trembling. First it was just the sound of a big bell from the deep. Then little bells chimed in. And then a choir started singing the hymn of the cherubim.
А потом, значит, стали перебирать мелкие. И опять как звон, опять перегулят, и опять, и так все ударяют, да. Вот, значит, и запели, и за херувим.
Ну а далее? Я дам благословение.
Furthermore, I shall grant my blessing unto your mature hearts, the ones that were able to perceive the magnificent word which hath been vouchsafed unto your ears. I shall give ye this strength. Be ye prepared to receive it, but listen attentively to your hearts. Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye shall be openly divided upon this earth into the powers of light and darkness this very year. Ye shall be divided into the wheat and the chaff. But then the harvest will begin. So hearken unto your hearts. The Lord will not leave anything undone. He maketh no mistakes. but your minds will err. Listen to your hearts, for only a blind man will fail to see the gifts of the Lord.
Отныне не узрит данного вам Богом. Так возьмите же великую благодать Отца. Будьте благословенны.
Receive the glorious blessing of the Father. Be ye blessed.
Слава Тебе, Боже наш, слава Тебе, Царю Небесный.
Мир вам.
May peace and happiness and love be with ye. Amen.
Вся исполняй сокровищем благих и жизни подателю, приди, вселися вны и очистины от всякие скверны, и спаси блаже души наша. Святый Боже, святый крепкий, святый бессмертный, помилуй нас. Святый Боже, святый крепкий, святый бессмертный, помилуй нас. Святый Боже, святый крепкий, святый бессмертный, помилуй нас. Слава Отцу и Сыну и Святому Духу, и ныне и присно, и во веки веков. Аминь. Пресвятая Троица, помилуй нас. Господи, очисти грехи наши, Владыко, прости беззаконие наше, Святый, посети, исцели немощи наши, имени Твоего ради. Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй, Господи, помилуй. Слава Отцу и Сыну и Святому Духу, и ныне и присно, и во веки веков. Аминь. Отче наш, иже еси на небесех, да святится имя Твое, да придет царствие Твое, да будет воля Твоя, яко на небеси и на земли. Хлеб наш насущный дашь нам есть, и остави нам долги наши, яко же и мы оставляем должником нашим. И не введи нас во искушение, но избави нас от лукавого. Аминь. Помилуй нас, Господи, помилуй нас, всякого ответа недоумеющий, сиюти молитву, яко владыцы грешные приносим. Помилуй нас, слава Отцу